Hello friends and welcome to a new video. After a very long break, I decided to come back here and do new videos for the channel because I missed you. I missed sharing art advice and art tools, reviews and art in general. So even if the break was very important to reconnect to my art and to myself, I think it's also important for me as a person to share it with the world and talk about it. So yeah, I'm coming back and I hope to be more consistent in doing videos from now on. So in this video in particular, I'm going to talk about Neocolors, and this is my first impression in general because I've never used them for a drawing in my sketchbook, and I'm going to also use alcohol markers. So I'm going to talk about the process and my opinions, and if you want, you can follow along because I'm going to list all the color shades and all the things you need to replicate the same drawing and coloring process. So before getting into the final drawing, I want to show you some behind the scenes content, and that is color testing. I do a lot of color tests before actually painting on the final drawing because I want to see how the color work on paper and if they work the way I expect them to do. And so since I want to use alcohol markers for the base color, I want to create a very uniform base and then put new colors on top. I'm choosing between Ohuhu markers and Copic markers, but I found the perfect shade in the Ohuhu pastel set, so I'm going with two Ohuhu markers. And so before getting to new colors, you'll see me putting down the base color with the alcohol markers. And the way I do this is by adding little strokes very close to each other. It doesn't matter if you see these like strips because when the color is wet, it will like blend together at the end. So when it's dry, you'll see that the color is even. But anyway, it doesn't matter if it isn't even because we're going on top with new colors, so the result will be totally, completely different. So talking about Neocolors, for those who don't know what these Neocolors number 2 are, these are wax pastels from Caran d'Ache, and the difference in comparison to other wax pastels is that they are water soluble, and this means that you can use them either with water or dry like they are. So you can use them in a variety of ways, but in this case in particular, I'm going to use them dry as they are from the box. And maybe in the future, I'm going to do other experiments with water and use them like watercolors or whatsoever. So again, I'm doing some color tests with these new colors because I don't know which colors I have to choose and I like more. I don't want to choose predictable colors like orangey and yellowish colors and that's it, but I want to add some variation to it, so you're going to see me using also reddish colors and bluish and brownish. So there are a variety of shades, and the fact is that this set of new colors was given to me by my family a year ago for my birthday. And basically, when I get new art supplies, every time I don't use them right away. I wait like a few months or even a year, like in this case, because I don't know why I don't feel like using them. I'm a bit like I feel the pressure of using a new art tool and changing my painting process. So maybe this is the reason why I act this way. Let me know in the comments if you too don't use the art tools right away when you buy them and you wait maybe for the perfect moment that never comes or that comes in a couple of months. Anyway, let's talk about the process and what I'm doing here on the paper. So I first decided that the shadow will be on the right side of the pumpkin. Maybe there's a window on that side, so maybe there's some light or reflecting light on that side too. And then the lighter part will be on the left side of the pumpkin. So this is very like a very basic shadow and lighting thing, but I think it's important to add dimension to the drawing and to decide this firsthand before getting into the coloring part. So for the darkest part of the pumpkin, I'm using basically the russet brown and the ochre from the set. And then I'm using the light gray for the reflecting light, or for that kind of like lighter part in the shadow. I don't know how to call it, but I think you get it. And for the lighter part, I'm going to use the yellows. So I basically use the yellow color and the orange color. These are the two colors from the set. I don't know if the yellow one is from the set, because I also bought a few, like 2 or 3 Neocolors separately from another website, and yeah, you can buy them separately if you want to try just a few colors, or you can buy the set, which of course costs a bit more because it has many colors and maybe you won't use all the colors. So oftentimes I don't buy the set, but if my family asks me what I want as a gift, of course I would say a set, because for them it's easier to buy just a standard set than choosing the colors that I usually choose by myself. So I want to talk about how I use these colors. I mean, I never use nail colors, as I said before, but I just put some strokes on the paper, like the ochre one, and then I go on top with some brown for the darkest part, and then I go on top again with some yellow or orange because I want to blend everything. So I use the lighter color to blend the other colors on the paper. So I use the yellow color to blend the ochre color and the brown one, but I never use brown on top of yellow. So I try to use the lightest color to blend everything. And I also add some spots here and there of light gray, just for the fact that I want some reflecting light on different parts of the pumpkin. And I draw with circle motions. I try to cover everything, every grain of the paper, but of course some grain will show up because the paper is a bit textured, even if it's hot pressed. And overall, I love the texture. This is the reason why I wanted to use Neocolors, because I know they have some texture to it, like color pencils, but even a bit more. And overall, I had fun with layers because since I usually use watercolors and I paint with different layers of color, in this case, I was at the beginning I had some doubts. I didn't want to layer the shadow on the lighter part, so I started using the darker color for the darkest part and the lighter color for the lightest part. But in the end, I started like adding colors on top of each other, and like just without fear, without pressure, just having fun. So yeah, at this point of the video, I don't know what to say, because I think I've talked enough about the process, but maybe you want to know more details. I think it's important that I did a distinction between the lightest part and the darkest part. So I've only used browns and ochre and dark red on the darkest part, and then I've used a bit of white, even if it's completely covered by the yellow, and then some orange on the lighter part of the pumpkin, and then I add some salmon pink on the cheeks. I first added some red, and then I try to blend the red with the salmon pink. I think it's very interesting, this technique, because you can blend everything out by adding a lighter color on top and just going in circular motions. And as for the head, I first wanted to use the black color, but then I decided to go with the amber because it was less dark. And of course, I wanted to put some light on the left part of the head and also some reflected lights from the right, so with the light gray as I did for the pumpkin. And then I've used this olive green for the branches or the leaves, I don't know how to call them, that are coming from the head. I just had fun with the shapes. Like, I didn't think too much about what I was doing because this is an exercise and I wanted to just test out the new colors. And I think it's very nice to step out from the comfort zone and try new art tools from time to time. And in the end, I'm adding some details with a pencil, a color pencil. This is from Caran d'Ache, and it's a simple black, soft color. I'm adding the eyes, of course, and the mouth. And of course, I'm adding some shadow with the ochre color. Also, some little cuts here and there because this pumpkin has been carved, of course, but it's also alive. So it's like our friend for October, for this spooky season. And of course, our drawing isn't finished without a little shadow underneath the pumpkin. Otherwise, it will seem like floating in the air, and we don't want this. And so I add a little shadow with a warm blue. I think this is outside from the set, but anyway, I have to check it out. But anyway, you can find some other blues in the set and use them for this little shadow. Then I add some amber to it and I try to accentuate the very dark part of the pumpkin sitting on the ground. And that's it basically. I hope you like this video and let me know in the comments what do you think about this format. I know I'm speaking like randomly without a script underneath, but I hope you like this spontaneity because it helps me to be quicker in editing the videos. And so maybe I'll do more videos in the future, like once a week, I hope so. Anyway, I send you a big hug and see you in the next video. Bye!